Hi guys, today we're gonna talk about a fraud that's spreading like wildfire. So in recent times, digital transactions are the need of the hour. With the world's rising towards cashless economy, it's really important to stay vigilant and avoid all the loopholes in the system. So let's get started. I'll be talking using a slideshow because someone talking for a long time without any context is really boring. So here I go. Okay, so the particular topic I'm going to focus on is the recent rise of UPI fraud. Let's first clarify what an UPI is. An UPI is a unified payments interface. It's an instant real-time payment system developed by National Payment Corporation of India. So it basically connects your bank account to a UPI app or any other app supporting UPI, for example, Paytm, PhonePe, etc. And a transaction can be done within seconds. All you need to do is give the 4-digit PIN to authorize the transaction. Now, you might be thinking that UPI is used in India and it's basically used in India itself and no other country uses it. So you might be thinking you are safe. I assure you, you are not. UPI is basically made from the backbone technology of PayPal, Square, Venmo, etc. So, in any online transaction can be hacked using this particular steps that I'm going to tell you today. So, continuing. For that, first we need to know how a UPI works. So, what UPI does is it's basically creates a UPI ID which can be used to transfer or send money directly from your bank. So you are given a code like this, which consists of alphabets and numbers, and @UPI or for example @Paytm is put behind it. So how is it different from other payment methods? You have no need to enter any sensitive information like IFSC code, bank number, etc. It directly goes from the VPA. The transaction takes no time. It's literally instant. There is no time limited hours. For example, a bank closes after 6, but UPI can work 24/7 without any problem. Plus, the charges are really low. It's like 0.5 per transaction. So, it's really cheap. And money is a big factor these days, so people will go for something that's cheap. Now, how does a cyber fraud occurs? There are a few steps. I am going to discuss 5 today. So, first one is phishing. Let's go with it. What phishing basically is, the hacker sends you a bogus email to access sensitive information of the potential victim. Now, how does a hacker send a bogus email? What he uses is, he uses the spamming email technology. Now, someone receiving an email from a bank won't ignore it. So what they do is they create a fake email ID, buy a domain for themselves, obviously not under their own name. They create and spam you with that email. Now, once the victim's key are in details, for example their PIN or account password, the hacker can easily misuse it and transfer all the money to them. Now, phishing is an old method and people are more self-aware these days. So we'll go into more accurate methods that are used. Next comes malware. This is the most dangerous of all, I would say, because what malware basically is, it's one of the common forms of cyber fraud. What a hacker does is, he sends you a application or a software which you download from a fake email attachment or an unsecure website, and it is designed such a way that the antivirus or a Windows Defender can't detect it. Now, it is designed to extract copies of data from your system. So it will program in such a way that as soon as you install it or it enters your system somehow, what it will do is it will access all your data, your passwords, everything, email, whatever it is connected to your system. Now, this can be a problem. I'm sure you get the point. Now next, Money Mule. What Money Mule basically is, it's more elaborate and fraud which is used to obtain a victim's data. Okay, so it's basically a middleman, I would say. What it does is it snips into your house or maybe tries to acquire information using social engineering. It gathers the information, gives it to the hacker, making it easy for the hacker to take all that money. What the money will gets is a little bit of the share that's stolen from the victim. So money mule is a middleman. Normally money mules are not used unless it's a large sum of money. Coming to the next one, same cloning. This is the latest thing that has been identified. All your phone's information is very vital to you. But what is more vital is the one-time password that is provided to you while you purchase or perform a transaction. For example, you're buying something online, you're paying using any app, for example, Google Pay and stuff. So what you do is you add money, and that time you're provided with a one-time password from the bank, which you authenticate, and then only the money transaction occurs. SIM cloning clones your SIM into an exact copy, making the bank confused of which the original number is. So when a SIM is cloned, the OTP will go to both the SIMs having the same number, same ID and everything else. Now, as you get the OTP, similar way the victim will also get the OTP. You are not on your phone always, so you won't ever know when the OTP is used and how much money has been stolen. So that's how SIM cloning works. Next we have Vishing. So this is the last in my list, but there are many other ways. So what Vishing is basically is, Vishing is commonly the first form of social engineering in which the hacker gives you a call posing as a bank employee or a manager, asking questions in behalf of the bank. The individual gives a set of lies to you, making you believe that he is talking from a bank and extracts your personal information or your PIN or password. Now, how does that work? I will explain in the later process, but this might not sound convincing. You might be like, how can someone be so fool to give their password like that? Well, just imagine it's a busy day and suddenly you get a phone call from a bank telling something like your account has been blocked. Now you need your account to make transactions, so you will panic, and in the middle of the work you can't first think of that this might be a fraud. So what will you do? You will answer its questions, and in your busy schedule you can't stay packed for so long, so your first statement will be, how can I solve this? So they will tell you a bogus issue, and that's how they will extract the PIN. Now, coming up next, we have the most important question of all. How does a hacker do it? So the first thing a hacker is going to do is use social engineering. As I am going to focus on the UPI fraud which has happened recently, so I'm going to show you the steps how a hacker is going to perform and extract information or money from you. So by social engineering, what he's going to do is he's going to gather information. The hacker is going to try to get your attention by a fake calling, because I am sure you know that chatting is not something a hacker will prefer, because you might just block it or ignore it, but you have to attend a call. So what he's going to do is he's going to give you a fake call, and he's going to disguise himself as a bank employee. Now, after doing that, he's going to call you without a harmless issue, and he's going to try to sound legit. How he's going to do that? He's going to ask you for verification questions like what is your date of birth, your name, your mobile number. Let me clarify, he already has all this information because he has been on you for a bit. Hacking does not work like this, that you see a random account and you're like, let's hack it. No. A hacker will always gather information before trying something on you. So the next thing he's going to do is he's going to make sure you are convinced. Now, date of birth, name and phone number is not going to convince anyone that they are getting a call from a bank employee. So the next thing the hacker is going to do is he's going to try to sound more legit. So how he's going to do that? He's going to use technical difficulties in apps or websites to get more information about you and use it to convince you that he's a bank employee. Okay, so let me be more specific. He's gonna wave a false story, making you think that he has the access to your personal information, with the information that a bank normally has, and there is some problem with your account. Now, to make you resolve it, they're gonna tell you to follow the steps they tell. Now, these steps are how a hacker hacks. Once you are convinced that it's a bank employee, what he's gonna do is he's basically gonna tell you to download an app. Apps like AnyDex and ScreenShare, which are available on Google Play Store. Now, Play Store is convinced to have no viruses in it, so people are gonna download it. After it is done, these apps are gonna ask you for your normal permissions like a app does. Regular app gives you permission like can I access your photos and all. So that's what this app is gonna do. But let me be specific. These apps can access everything on your phone. So the next thing a hacker will do is he will convince you to download this app, and then he's gonna tell you to install it. You're gonna install it. Obviously, you're not fooling to give him access and share your screen. Obviously, won't do it. But let me be specific. The app is downloaded in your phone. Okay, just making a scenario that you have not downloaded the app because you didn't feel right. I'll come to that too. The next thing the hacker will do is gonna ask you for a 9-digit OTP that's generated in your phone. Now, as soon as you give the OTP to him, the hacker will get access to your phone. Not convinced enough? That's because no one is gonna be fool enough to give an OTP. There is another way to do it. The other way is that the hacker will send you an SMS disguised as a bank employee and ask you to forward it to a specific number. For example, you check your balance by typing something and sending to a specific bank number, and you get a reply from the bank stating your balance and your account number, right? Similarly, he's gonna convince you and you're gonna do it. As soon as you forward that message to that particular phone number, he's gonna get access to all your content. And let me be specific, all your content on your phone, everything. Now coming back to the screen share part, let me just tell you that what he's gonna do. He's gonna send you a link. You're gonna open it. It will look like a normal website, a normal exact clone of the bank website you use, any bank. I mentioned before that he's gonna have a trail on you, so he's just gonna create a clone website of the bank you normally use. So what he's gonna do is he's gonna tell you to download an app of the bank. You're gonna download it. He's gonna get access similar to screenshot and all. Now, leaving that aside, the UPI fraud that originally is the reason I'm talking about all this today. What happens is when this particular SMS thing happens, he can link the UPI ID of your phone to himself. So now he has basically the control of UPI. And I mentioned in the first that UPI is directly linked to your bank. So he can gather all the money that's in your bank. There are more ways hacker can convince you. For example, I am sure you have heard of Google Pay. Because obviously, who has not heard of Google Pay? What Google Pay basically does every year is it releases a game type of thing. It asks you to collect coupons, and once you have collected all the coupons from everyone, you get money in return. For example, $200, 200 INR in Indian rupees. So now, just imagine this. You get a link stating that if you're gonna get 2 coupons when you open the link and complete a survey. I am sure you have heard of these things before also. As soon as you click on the link, because money is a factor these days, so when you hear of free money, you're gonna go and try it out. That's where you go wrong and hackers have their stay. So basically, you can get frauded like this by trying to collect stamps in Google Pay also. There is another way a hacker uses it. It's like sending request or a refund request to your virtual payment address, like Google Pay and stuff. So what he basically does is he sends you a request of collect the refunded cash. So as I mentioned before that he's gonna keep a track of your activities. Just imagine this: you have requested a refund of a money from, for example, Amazon. You get a message from Amazon that when you complete this and authorize this, you'll get the refund to you directly to your bank account. You give the details, you authenticate it. Soon as you do it, boom, all your money is gone. As you know, this online transaction happen in a second, so that's enough time for a hacker to take all your money, because there is no time limit that after 30 minutes the money will be transferred. No, it happens instantly. So that's the way a hacker does it. Next thing is, how does a hacker know? He keeps track of your social media. I am not convinced if you tell me that no one uses social media these days. At least one account, at least a Gmail, you have it. That's what hackers use. For example, people, like 80% people these days post what they are doing, where they are, all the check-ins on social media. A hacker keeps track of everything you do. For example, you went somewhere, you checked in. Just I checked in here just now. I went to the bank today. Damn, the bank is so messed up today. I had to wait for like 30 minutes to get my work done. Now, this small information, you might think this is nothing, but for a hacker, this is gold. In the age of social media and online transactions, hackers are the most beneficial these days. If they can misuse and mislead you to any extent. So be aware of that. The next thing is, after all this, the conclusion that comes is you have to stay really aware these days, or you can get hacked. These are some basic ideas I told you how you can get hacked. You can just click on a link and your browser can be hooked to it. For example, you can use Beef framework to do it. Even a kid can do it who knew how to use Linux. So frauding is not a big thing these days. So yeah, you really have to be aware. So at the end of the day, you are always being watched. So be aware and be safe. Always look for the message you get from banks. Don't click on a malicious link without any warning. Don't download any app which you think is not trusted. So that's how you can be safe. But hackers will keep on trying to find new ways to get your information and steal it from you. So that's all.